It's 2 a.m. and you hear smash, then the startup of a familiar engine. Someone's stolen your car. Everyone knows the police are usually too busy to help with stolen cars, so it's up to you to find it. But more often than not, that's it. You have no hope of finding it. Your car is gone. But where does it actually go? Well, I had the same question. Where do all the stolen cars go? So after researching, let me explain. But first, let's address the fact that the chances of actually having your car stolen today are pretty low. There's about 287 million cars on the road in the US and only 810,000 cases of vehicle theft in the US in 2020 and 89,000 cases in the UK. That's about 246 thefts per 100,000 people in the US and 132 per 100,000 in the UK. So the odds of your car being stolen today are pretty low, but never zero. Historically, people have stolen cars for one reason: to make money. Imagine you're a criminal. You just found an old Honda with the keys still in it. Jackpot. Your next payday has been delivered directly to you. But how do you get some cash for it? Well, you used to take it directly to the nearest chop shop. A chop shop is an illegal garage that profits off selling or repurposing the parts of stolen vehicles. Often run out of a legitimate storefront, an expert chop shop can strip an entire car down to its chassis in less than 3 hours. If your car is unlucky enough to find itself in one of these, chances are you'll never see that car again. What's mad is that cars are typically worth more as parts than as a whole. While a junk car may be worth only $500 in scrap metal, chances are the individual parts on that car are worth thousands, and chop shops know this. They will also occasionally request to have certain cars stolen to fulfill client orders. Usually they target older cars, especially those with aftermarket accessories such as custom speaker setups or specialized rims. The rims on lowriders can cost thousands of dollars per wheel, making them a prime target for chop shops and general thieves alike. Aftermarket parts bring in a healthy chunk of change for these chop shops, but that isn't the only way they make their money. The 1990s were the height of chop shops, and this is how they worked. Chop shops would first buy a salvaged titled car for as little as $500, while putting out an order to steal an identical, clean model worth upwards of $30,000. But you couldn't just sell that stolen car without getting busted, so they would strip the stolen car down to the chassis and transfer all those components on the salvaged car. So now they have a clean car that they can sell for upwards of $15,000. It's a low risk, high reward operation as markets for these cars exist both domestically and internationally. Of course, as time passed, chopping a car has become more difficult. Transponders in car keys have made cars nearly impossible to hotwire, drastically decreasing the number of car thefts since their addition in the early 2000s. To combat chop shops, manufacturers now stamp the vehicle's VIN number in 17 or more different places, including on high-value components, making them easier to trace. The addition of computers in cars has also made chopping difficult, as many times changes can't be made without inputting unique manufacturer codes. Because of the increased difficulty in actually chopping a car, chop shops have sort of fallen to the wayside. While there is still a risk, the odds of your car actually being delivered to a chop shop are fairly low because of this. Well, the good news is that your car is still probably in one piece. But chop shops aren't the only way criminals can make money off your car. Another potential fate of your prize ride is being exported. If a car isn't chopped up and isn't recovered, there is a chance it has been stolen and exported through gang activity, especially if it's a high-value luxury car. In Russia, it's generally believed that 25 to 35% of high-value Western cars, that's Mercedes, BMWs, Audis and so on, less than 3 years old, are stolen. Russia isn't the only country that receives large quantities of stolen vehicles. Stolen vehicles are shipped to countries in Africa, Asia and Europe by gangs from all over the world. But stealing these cars isn't the only way gangs source their four-wheeled black market exports. Sometimes the owners will just hand them over. Gangs occasionally rely on insurance fraud to help source luxury vehicles. If an owner's insurance policy value is higher than that of the car, the owner will sometimes give the car to the thieves, reporting it stolen a few days later and collecting the insurance payout. Sometimes vehicle owners are paid a premium value higher than their insurance value by thieves, with the promise that the owner will wait until the vehicle has been exported to report it as stolen. There isn't a concrete number for how many cars are stolen and exported to different countries each year. As it turns out, mafia families and gangs are pretty good at keeping that number close to their chests. The chance of your vehicle getting exported really depends on where you live. In America, having your car exported through organised crime is much less of a threat than it is in Europe. Outside of a few areas located along the southern border, illegal car exportation isn't much of a concern for most US drivers. The closer you are to a border or major port, the greater you are at risk. However, if your car is stolen in America, it's much more likely to end up on Facebook Marketplace than foreign soil. Speaking of Facebook Marketplace, internet shopping forums have made making a profit off stolen vehicles pretty easy for thieves. Craigslist, Facebook, eBay, OfferUp, all these sites offer great platforms for thieves to offload their haul. Allegedly, of course. Reselling stolen vehicles is a pretty good option for many carjackers in comparison to chopping or exporting. Sellers may forge a fake title and list a stolen vehicle online or sell the vehicle at a deep discount without a title. If you're ever buying a car from a private seller and they don't have a title or the deal just seems too good to be true, chances are you should avoid buying that car. This pandemic has led to a massive shortage in used car availability. The decrease in supply of new cars has caused a dramatic increase in demand in the used market, and car thieves are itching to take advantage of it. The California DMV recently published a press release stating that consumers need to be extra cautious when purchasing a used vehicle, as reports of accidentally purchasing stolen property has steadily grown. Like a chop shop, thieves may sometimes sell the more valuable parts of the car individually. If you ever have your wheels stolen, you might want to check Craigslist within the next couple of days. There's a good chance they will be there. Again, allegedly. Sometimes you just have to buy your own stuff back. It's the circle of life or something. Okay, so your car has been stolen and you're worried that a bunch of bad things are going to happen to it. Well, actually, you don't need to worry too much. 56.4% of locally stolen cars in the US were recovered in 2020. So the odds are on your side that your car will come home. But with all of this intricate criminal activity revolving around car theft, how are so many recovered? Well, it's worth remembering that criminals aren't typically the sharpest tools in the shed. Many car thefts are simply crimes of opportunity. They are joyrides that have nothing to do with sophisticated underground crime rings. In many situations, a criminal has picked up a car without having a set plan to dispose of it. That means that usually your car will end up in an abandoned parking lot somewhere and found by the police days later. Thank you very much for watching. Please check out these other videos which I think you'll love, and I will catch you in the next one.